All right, all right, all right.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome back, or welcome if this is the first time you stop by. Tonight we're going to go over a few things, hopefully quick and just quick, because 40 minutes is a long time. It doesn't seem like a lot of people hang in there for the full 40 minutes. I don't blame you. 40 minutes, you got other things to do. Can't sit down and listen to some guy just talking about a chart situation. But let's start at the top, or let's start at the longest chart, which is the 10-year monthly. And we got like five years up here. And what do we have today? We had a little bit of a bounce. After falling like precipitously, we finally bounced a little bit. So that probably relieved a lot of people a little bit. But unfortunately, I think we might still be going further down. The question is, does it form another lower high? If it does, we're really going to go down. At least that's what I think. And I'm sticking to it. So, we pretty much have gone over last night the aspects of the fibs and the lines, or the trend lines that I drew going back in terms of touchbacks, in terms of support and resistance. And we come up to the latest candle. It's a monthly candle, so things happen over time, slowly. Like the turning of the indicators, the anchor momentum. That red line is fast, so it goes down fast. And the green line is following slowly behind it. And you had a squeeze on the inverted VIX, and it squeezed to the downside. So it's currently outside the lower Bollinger Band, and it's looking like it may bounce too, possibly. We got to wait and see what develops, but we got to go in a little closer to see more granularity instead of being such a high-level view. But it's always good to start out at the high level and then just work your way down. So let's do that. Let's go down to a daily. All right, here we are on the daily. A little bit of a different look. And in some ways, I'm thinking, we're looking at the whole thing. The thing that jumped out at me was the fact that the 233 EMA was green the whole way along. Even though price came down to touch, it stayed green the whole way along until we had the initial breakdown. And we came down hard on the 233 and continued right through. And then what happened? Came down to the 886 and bounced up to the underside of the 233. I'm rehashing a little bit, but that's okay. Just make sure that we cover all the bases here. The underside of the 233. And what is the underside of the 233? Well, it ended up being a lower high, and then it really plunged until today. It bounced a little bit. Last night, it opened up, gap down, basically filled that gap today. But before it did that, it had to go even lower than what was my line in the sand, so to speak, which was the 161.8 and the 261.8. But you know what? It didn't close below that. If it closed below that, it would be like Katie barred the door. The horse is out of the barn. It's going crazy. But it didn't. Buyers came in, pushed it back up, and they're still pushing overnight. Let's see. Where are we? We're at 17,830 right now. And that looks to be just about right here. So we still got a ways to go. And you know what? Once again, we come down, look at the indicators. First, we'll look at the averages, the volume averages, and the volume histogram. A lot of volume going on. And that's actually a good sign. That could be capitulation. Get all the dead wood out, start anew, start building back up. I don't think so, though. I think this time's a little bit different. It's not just going to come down and bounce and then keep going higher. It's not a buy the dip situation anymore. It's a sell the rip. Except you got to watch out for days like today, because it can rip to the upside pretty damn good, and you may get yourself in, but it may just rip right by you and keep going. So you got to watch out. Anyway, going down the anchor momentum, it's showing the bounce. You got the bounce to the upside, but what do you got? You got the green line still coming down, and the bounce that you got so far is not going to take you above the zero line, which is where you want to be if you want to start heading back up. So that's the situation with the anchor momentum. As far as the inverted VIX, it's just, hold on a second, I'm just going to move something. Okay. Coming back. The inverted VIX is showing a little bit more reality, I think. It's not necessarily bouncing, but the overall movement to the downside is slowed just a little bit. And we'll see what happens as we go further along. It's still below the lower Bollinger Band, so it's outside the volatility. And the moving average is coming down. That's the cyan line. So everything's still coming down. Just had a good day today in terms of bouncing to the upside. And that's a little short covering maybe. You got a lot of shorts hanging out, I'm sure, making some big bucks. So that's the daily. And one more thing I'll do is I'll just zoom in from the beginning of the year to now. Just make everything a little bit bigger. And nothing really changes. We just get a little bit better sense of the price action. And what do you got here? You got almost a doji of sorts. It's not a true doji, but it's just you got balance below and up top, which is interesting. We'll see what it looks like going further in. And then you got tonight's action so far. So that's the daily. Let's go into the 30-minute. Whoops, wrong one. All right, here we are on a 30-minute. Maybe what I'll do is I'll zoom in. Just make the candles a little bit bigger. And we'll see what's going on. Now what do we have? We have the regular, like I described last night, you got regular market hours, and then you got the overnight, where there's not much volume. And then you get the regular hours again. The regular market hours. That's New York session. Overnight, right here. What's that, like 3 o'clock, like I said last night? That's like the European market open. And the European trading. And then here you got pretty much lower volume. Not much going on. That's the Asian session. So you have like 3 sessions in the course of a 24-hour day. So what else we got? A little bit of a wild hayride here on the open, New York. Here's the first candle, and it took off. And then it really took off. Just as the shorts came in and pushed it back down. Now the interesting thing is it reached all the way up and came up to the top channel marker. Didn't quite get up to the 233 MA, but that's okay. It's just interesting to see that. If we bring that across, it may very well reach back up into this area based upon price being up here at one point, and price always tests twice. So it'll be the second test, and then unfortunately it'll probably be coming down if it doesn't get beyond this. So we'll wait and see what develops. But overall, it came down to this higher low here, and it's been working off the higher low ever since, coming to the upside. You had the initial open last night, and there's the gap down that I was talking about. gap down, went lower, tested at the low, came back up to a lower high, and you sell off as a result of the lower high. But it did stop at the just before the lows over here and pivoted, and it's been going up since. So that's pretty much the 30-minute. Let's see if there's anything else jumping out at me. Well, the one thing you can see the upward progress, and you can see the anchor momentum just slowly working its way up towards the zero line. And you get the red line crossing first. And that's right, just about a great place to get in. Is that cross of the red line over the zero line. And then you get the green line crossing over the zero line. And that's just confirmation. And the fact that it stayed, the green line's staying over the zero line, and the red line is for that matter too. What do you got? You got a little dip here. So you're saying pretty much, since the cross here, the red line's staying over the green line. And you got just a little bit of it pop to the downside there. And then you get this little dip when it stays over the zero line, but it falls underneath the green line, the red line that is. And what do you got? You got just a little bit of a sell-off. Came down lower to test, but what did you test? Higher low. So you get another higher low, and off you really go, because that higher low is part of the open, and it just popped. So the green line stays above the zero line, the red line stays above the zero line, and just makes some progress to the upside, that is. And then you got what? Maybe just a little bit of divergence in terms of the anchor momentum is trending downwards here. It's kind of losing some momentum, some steam. And price has continued higher. So it would be good for it to come down a little bit. I mean, that's where the volume profile factors in. Right now it's kind of bouncing around inside the volume profile. And down here it's just chugging away. But just as long as the red line and the green line stay above, pretty good shape. Pretty good shape. So let's go down to the 5-minute. All right, here we are on the 5. And for this, I'm going to zoom in right away. All right. So what do we got? We got the open here. Sold off just a little bit. Came down, bounced off the point of control on the volume profile. Then you got the lower value area, the lower value node. It didn't quite reach down there. Whereas before, over here, it broke the low value area, low value node. So this ends up being a higher low, and off it goes. And boy, did it go. Some pent-up buying there. That and some short covering, I'm sure. Shorts getting nervous because the price just rips to the upside. Now it's interesting, it comes back down and starts chopping, but it stays above the 233. So you have the 233 kind of just telling you, you know, if anything's short, don't go long, don't go long, don't go long. Then you get the rip to the upside. And then all of a sudden it becomes support. And up it goes. And price stays above it. Price dips back down below, that's weakness. Price stays above, that's strength. But overall, there was a good deal of volume today, which is a good sign. You need volume. To me, it's kind of like gasoline. Keeps the engine, well, not every engine, now that we have electric cars, but you know what I mean. Keeps the car going. Gets you further on down the road. The volume dries up, and all of a sudden you're going nowhere. Like happens over here in the overnight session. There's no volume going on. It can manipulate. I mean, that's the thing. You know, certain market forces can manipulate the situation based upon there being no volume. But over here it's just showing you that it's basically a situation where it's just a quiet overnight period right now. So that's a 5-minute. And is there anything else? Well, there's one more thing. I've asked on a couple of occasions for anybody out there who can put a few sentences together and just offer me up a comment in terms of what you think, because based upon feedback from viewers, I'll try and make this better if I can. I don't know how much more I'm going to be able to do with it, but I'll certainly try. And the other thing is, if you're interested in stuff other than MNQ, MNQ is something I'm solely focused on. It's the only thing I look at. But I do look at other stocks and futures. And it'll be interesting to know some of what you're basically involved with out there. And based upon people write in, if they write in, I'll take, 1, 2, 3, a couple of the tickers, and basically take a look-see and see if we can come to the same kind of conclusions that we come to on MNQ, or at least that I come to, because I'm sitting here doing this. And that's it. Just trying to think before I go. The nice thing is this is a shorter video, so hopefully that some people stay for the whole thing. That would be great. And if not, that's okay too. Even if you stop by for a short period of time, it's all good to me. That's pretty much it. Okay. So I want to thank you once again for stopping by. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. But before that, whatever you're doing, I sure hope you're having a good night doing it. And that's it. All right. Good night.